What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and we are back with some Marvel Future Fight content. And today we're going to be taking our first look at the Gladiator in his Infinity Revelation uniform. It's interesting that they have Thanos right under this guy because they're similar in a couple ways and very different in others. And I want to talk about that in this video because I think even though I am very happy that this man finally got released from the stranglehold that they had on him at tier 2, they gave him his tier 3 and his tier 4 in the same update, which in essence saves you some money, some crystals, however you decide to get your crystals, whether you farm them free to play or you spend money to get them, because they could have easily dropped his tier 3 with a new uniform, left him at tier 3, and then, you know, have us wait 2 years for them to finally give him tier 4 and then release another uniform to kind of make more money, right? However, they decided to give him tier 3 and tier 4. We've never seen that ever in a single update for a character. They did something similar with Madeline prior, where they gave her tier 3 and then tier 4 in the mid-month, but this is the first and I'm happy to see it. However, I gotta say, I kind of feel like they shafted the boy. Okay, big update coming for him, but I feel like they should have given him more. And I don't want to say I feel like, because I know for sure they should have given him more, because the uniform itself costs 1,500 crystals. And I don't want my first video back in a couple weeks of me complaining, but I just got to point out some differences and some similarities. So you take a look at this guy, right? Double cost, tier 2 native, epic quest character. You gotta buy a deluxe pack to get to this man. He's the big baddie or the big goodie or whatever. He's the ultimate prize of an epic quest, just like Jean Grey. However, if you take a look at Jean Grey's uniform, Jean Grey is getting so much more than this guy in every regard. This man does not get any iframe ignore in his kit. They gave him accumulation in his kit, but they made it so it's only 8 seconds, which means you get the tier 3 rotation, which you can only put up every other rotation, and then you get one additional rotation. This shit only lasts for 8 seconds, bro. There's characters in this game that can keep their accumulation up all the time, and you might say that, hey, when you tier for him, he might just hit really hard and you don't need to keep that shit up all the time, but we'll have to wait and see. Until then, I am not quite happy with what they did here. I think they should have put his accumulation on one of his other skills, or they should have made it so that the accumulation was up for like 15 seconds. 8 seconds is just not enough, okay? Also, I don't like the fact that you kind of get locked into using him with a CTP of rage, because if you take a look at his skills, the only skill that you can kind of insta cancel, and that's not even insta, it's like a delay cancel, is the 5, right? The 5 lingers quite a while. You let him just like rush and then you can just cancel into another one of his skills. The 3, you gotta let it play out for a little bit. The 2, you gotta let it play out for a little bit. You can cancel the 2 right when you see that red beam and then go into like the 1 or something. The 4 is what you want to proc on for your regular rotation, and the 5, sorry, not the 5, the 6, you gotta let him punch the world. You know what I'm saying? That shit looks hella cool. It does big damage from what I'm seeing, but I think they should have gone further for this man. How they go give this man, I say he's for PvE and PvP, but don't give him no bloody iframe ignore in his kit, bro. Like, stop it. Stop it. You can't tell me a character is built for PvP and don't give them iframe ignore, no counter attack, no nothing like that. Yes, he has some things that make him tankier. Okay, that's gonna help him a little bit in what, Alliance Conquest. Y'all have showed us that you don't care about Conquest, so stop it, man. Anyways, enough complaining for now. I decided I'm just gonna show you guys how he performs with a CTP of Rage. I might double back and try him with a CTP of Energy, but I feel as though you're gonna struggle to consistently land the procs and time things properly with him if you go with a single damage proc. I think what they want you to do with this guy is max him out, full Odins, give him a CTP of Rage, and use him to replace Moon Knight and Black Panther for combat, superhero, ABX, and possibly use him in ABL to some regard. That's what I see as their end goal for this guy. If that's the case, it might be good and bad. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. All right, he got the strong tag and he got the leadership tag, so that's good. You'll be able to use him on a couple stages in World Boss Legend, like what is it, 50 to 55 against Gore. That's a stage that prior you could only use like what, Namor for. And being able to use White Fox is always really good because she's gonna give you extra chain hit damage and whatnot. But I think it's kind of silly that they didn't give him at least some additional pierce or something on his uniform, bro. By the way, his uniform options, not too bad, right? Characters that are fairly relevant, but if you look at the uniform buffs compared to somebody like Adam Warlock and Thanos and those guys that are double cost tier 2 native, bro, they went way harder for those guys. So even when Gladiator is the focal point of a major update, he's still kind of getting shafted. But let's get into it. One thing that kind of sucks is since he's an alien, we don't have a lot of stages that we can use him that are not super low right now, so we're gonna have to reevaluate him once he gets to hold on, once he gets to 80. One thing that kind of sucks though is you have to do 2 full rotations, like 2 full-on rotations to get this man's tier 3, which I think is dumb because most characters these days you do 1.5 rotation and then you can get the tier 3 and do big damage. With this guy, that's not the case. That kind of sucks. Yeah. Boom. Nice. He's doing decent damage considering he has type disadvantage. Okay, but they definitely should have put iframe ignore on one of his skills, bro. Like, it's just mad disrespectful to not. But big damage. From the looks of it, it doesn't even seem like he has iframe ignore on the tier 3. That's what it looked like just now. I'm pretty sure he does, like on the tier 3. Okay. Okay. Nah, for a tier 2 native, bruh, I know he has type disadvantage and whatnot, but like 1,500 crystals for the uniform. Keep that in mind. Plus the cost of the epic quest itself. Keep that in mind as well. 6,000 plus crystals. There we go. I'm gonna cancel out of the 4 into the tier 3. You could try that. See, the thing is, if you tried him with a CTB of energy, you would literally just be using 2 skills for the majority of the fight. You would be using you would just be instant canceling, hold up, the 3rd, delay canceling the 5, and then proccing on the 4 or the 6. It could work. It could work. I might try it if y'all want to see it. The only problem I can really see if you try him with a CTP of energy, hold up, it's going to take you longer to get to the tier 3, and you don't want to dilly-dally and hold up, not get to tier 3 as quickly as possible, you know. By the way, since he doesn't have okay, guaranteed critical rate, you can see sometimes his rage proc does not activate. Like, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit, bro. Like, what the hell, man? I think they kind of shafted him, bro. Like, yeah, they kind of shafted him. I'll take that hit. It doesn't matter. I can heal back up. But yeah, I think they kind of shafted him. Like, he's gonna be good, alright? But come on, man. Our character has been at tier 2 for like 60 bazillion years. Like, of course, if they get tier 3 and tier 4 at the same time, they're gonna look amazing, right? Anything is better than tier 2. But real talk, I think they could have gone further. But who knows? Maybe he'll hit like 16 billion points in ABX, and people like, yeah, that's good enough for me. And if that's the case, cool, man. Kind of wondering which one hits harder, the tier 3 or the 4th skill. Come on, I'm just gonna go ahead and fire that off because they don't want this guy to go to that next stupid phase transition. Would have been nice if you could actually insta cancel the 3rd and still get the damage from it, you know, but in an ideal world. In an ideal world, things like that will be possible, but considering they shafted this man when he first got released, you think they would have gone like super hard on him this time around, but bro, what do I know? I'm just a pleb. I think I can survive. I guess you could start off with the 5, but yeah, if you're not using a rage, you're not gonna start off with the 5 because that's gonna trigger everything. Yeah, I don't know how most people are gonna find this guy if they don't have a CTP of rage. Like, maybe he'll just hit so much harder with the extra chain hit damage from the CTP of energy that it will make up for not having the accumulation all the time. Like, that's something I could try, but I do feel like they shafted him. Let me run one more fight. One thing that's really kind of irking me about Gladiator is the fact that they built this man as a character that, well, doesn't have, I would say, the ability to use very many CTPs, right? You're gonna pretty much default to using him with a CTP of rage or a CTP of energy if I don't know, if you don't have a rage. But like, hold on, boom, let me just pop that. But you'll notice a lot of times I'm trying to use the 3, the 2, or the 1, sometimes even before the tier 3, and you might wonder why the hell is he doing that. You want to get the accumulation up first, but the tier 3 hits really hard. And sometimes the tier 3 does not trigger the bloody rage proc. Look at that. The rage proc takes a while to kick in sometimes because these buffoons, right, didn't give this man guaranteed guaranteed critical rate. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have guaranteed critical rate, your chances of triggering that rage proc is very high. It's significantly higher than if you don't have it. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes me wonder, like, what these men smoking, dog? Like, I think they need to buff him. That's just me. No, that's just me. I ain't saying he's bad, right? I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying for the cost, right? For the cost. Jeez, that's not enough damage for me, doggy. Let me see. Yeah, that's not enough damage. Nah. She was gonna go in this thing anyways, but I wanted to see how much damage we could do. That's just not enough damage. But yeah, for the cost, keep in mind 6,600 crystals to get the deluxe package. Then you gotta spend 1,500 on this man's uniform, and you gotta build him up. Building him to a tier 3 is about 150 mil. And then to tier 4 after, that's another 150 mil. You know what I'm saying? just keep that in mind. This man's a very expensive character. I don't get Thanos. Like, what I'm seeing right now is not blowing me out of the water. Now, maybe he'll blow my socks off, you know what I'm saying, when we get him to level 80. And then once we tap into that tier 4, maybe he'll give me like something I've never seen before, because his tier 4 is, it's not interesting, but it's the highest attack buff we've ever seen. I believe this goes up to 160% when it's fully maxed out. So it might just make him go over the top, especially if you can get this up every rotation. Like that might supplement, you know what I'm saying, him needing to do 2 rotations to get access to his tier 3. But do keep in mind, this guy is not going to be cheap to build. He's not going to be cheap to acquire. So keep that in mind when you're looking at this uniform. Don't just jump out of your seat and go buy it. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Y'all leave me your thoughts in the comments and let me know what else you guys want to see from me.